All right, is there any opens, hot topics related to tools, CI, anything else?
Did the CI get fixed? I know it was broken at one point.
As far as I'm aware of, CI is running fine. There was, over the last few weeks, there was definitely a few issues. But I think those have all been resolved for a couple weeks now. Looking at the main CI system, I see all green check marks for a number of commits back. And looking at the pull requests, I see a mixture of red and green, but I'm going to assume that that's tied to failing PR requirements.
Okay, excellent. I know at least maybe 2 weeks ago I was trying to merge some stuff and it was acting weird, but
there still is kind of a long running task. I don't know. I'm hoping to check in with Mickey to see about making repos and stuff, because we do want to move the GCC CI agents actually over to containers. So we can hopefully improve our error rate where the downloading from the ARM developer website was causing some problems over the recently, and then over the last year or two.
yeah. So actually, I do have a CI related question, Sean. So if I submit a pull request and the CI fails, but it just fails for infrastructural reasons like that, is there some way to trigger it to rerun?
So there is a way for certain people with certain permissions to rerun.
Okay. Well,
I don't think we've really locked down the permissions very well in all of the Tiano core, right? Like the teams and permissions that each of those members have, all that stuff. So I don't know for sure. I know Mike Kenny's been able to re-trigger it. I've seen a button that lets me redo it. I know Michael Kubaki was looking and said that he just force pushes at it and it rearms and re-goes. So it may depend on what group you're in. And honestly, I don't even know how the groups are set up in the Tiana core organization.
okay. Well, at least I don't have a button to rerun it, so I guess what I did was I just made a new pull request.
Yep, sure.
I was just wondering if there's some better way to do that.
So I guess kind of hinting back there, my idea has been that as we move more into a GitHub driven world, I think we need better understanding of the teams and the permissions that every user has, and probably need to do a bunch more work there, right? I think the teams are pretty lightly populated today. And I
Yeah,
think,
I think the permissions could probably use an overhaul. I agree, but
yeah.
yeah.
And I think as part of that, that permissions would get updated. And then we'd figure out exactly do we make every maintainer on a team that can push that button, which seems to make sense. Um, you know, exactly how and what we do, I don't know, but I think we would definitely want to make sure there's a lot more people with the permissions to re-kick the build.
Makes sense. Agree. Yeah. Well, that's all I had. Thanks.
Okay. Yeah, thanks. Mickey, have you had any luck in getting the right permissions to?
Nope. Nobody can give me the right permissions, it looks like.
Yeah, I think the only person who can is Mike K, and he's on sabbatical, so.
Yes, I know. And you see, we thought that I had all the permissions, but I don't. I'm an admin, but I still can't create new repos.
Andrew didn't show up today. I was hoping he might have some authority. Have you been able to reach out to Lemming?
No, I haven't. I haven't done that yet.
I think Mike told me before he left that Lemming was another person with what he thought was all of the permissions.
Okay. I'll check with Lemming then.
Yeah. And I think Oliver is waiting on that, and I know Chris from my team also has some container stuff we'd like to check in and get feedback on. I mean, given that CI isn't broken, I don't think there's anything pressing here other than just getting work done. So makes sense. Other kind of ongoing things. The tools def, I did send out that email just a few minutes ago. It is an RFC. My hope is that that will start people thinking about what tool chains are important to them and whether they're willing to commit resources to support the ones that are important to them. If other people have ideas around, I think that we need to build some sort of, report card or something that is easy to fill in for a tool maintainer that says this is the state of each package in EDK2 with each architecture and, at a given tag. And then I don't know, I was thinking about requesting as Leming makes the release and there's artifacts associated with that release, if we would then add those reports to the release or something like that. Again, some sort of formal, relatively easy but formal submission that says, hey, like I did my job. Here's the current state of the affairs. But I'm open to hear feedback. Hopefully somebody here has some feedback. My main goal is to start trimming down the tools def for those that are unwilling to commit to any work and getting that down to a reasonably small set that makes sense.
Yeah, I think pretty much the only thing we might want to keep is anything 2015 and newer at this point.
So Nate, to back that up, my request to you would be, are you willing to support those and help me define what support means, but also just support those, because that's really how we keep them, right? So if you wanted to support 2008 and was willing to do the work, like I have no complaint, right? So
I don't see any reason to do that personally. Yeah. The only one that seems potentially valuable to me is 15, and the only reason for that is for whatever reason, because the optimizer isn't as good in 2015, you get smaller compressed LZMA binaries when you use 2015.
Yeah, I can believe that.
I'm sorry, you're saying it gets worse as you move toward like 2019?
Yeah, 19 and 22, the compressed firmware volumes have just continued to get bigger because the optimizer and the compiler is getting better. And because of that, the functions end up looking different in each binary, including like all the core stuff, like the MDE package library classes. Whereas with the older compiler, they look more similar, so they compress down easier.
And is it substantial enough to blow through a flash part, or is it just a small?
It's surprising. Like if there's some platforms we have where if you build with 19 versus 15, it's like a 10% increase on FV size consumption.
Okay.
It's crazy.
So it's big enough it'll blow a flash part out.
Yeah.
This is the reason we did the crypto binary and a few of those things, because we've been seeing this since we moved to 2017, which was, 5 years ago.
So Sean, you're on Surface, you're still using 2015 then, or I thought you were using the latest?
We're using 2019 and 2022.
Okay.
But like I said, we've done things like move to a crypto binary, which means that all OpenSSL was a huge piece of this.
It's right? Probably a good 1 meg or more, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we did that too, actually.
Okay.
But even with, you still get big.
So Sean, were you going to add a maintainers list for each of the tool chains in the target.txt or something, and whoever if there's a maintainer for each of the tool chains, then those are the ones that stay and the rest get tossed.
That was my proposal. I think I just put out an email. I did say that either we'd update the maintainers.txt to call out the tool chains. I also think that we should have a category in Bugzilla for each tool chain that is supported and have a default owner that is that maintainer. I think if we can't do both of those things, then I would say that the tool chain shouldn't be considered maintained.
Okay.
Yeah, the other thing I'd like to do at some point is Clang, if we could.
Agree.
So you're implying you'll pull in the static analyzer then? Is that why you want to pull in the Clang, or is that just another more portable tool chain?
It's just because it would lead to a path of potentially only having to support one tool chain because it works very well on both Linux and Windows and
Okay.
other stuff. So,
Right.
But I understand if people still want to use Visual C, but at least I'm kind of hoping that we could drop GCC. If we had that,
Right,
at least
right,
long term.
Right.
And hopefully, a lot of people would, switch to it regardless of whatever their platform they're using.
Yep. So anyways, if you have feedback, please reply to that email, that RFC email. I was hoping that we could target, if there isn't strong feedback, which often is the case in our community, I was hoping we could target after the stable tag has landed and start doing some cleanup. All right, anything else from anyone? Otherwise, we can call it a quick meeting.
I love quick meetings.
I would love more topics from other people. I think the hope was that we would get other ideas in the meeting other than Mike and myself. So if others have more ideas, I'd love to hear some.
Okay, I have a question that maybe you guys can answer, somebody here. So the firmware volume is a compressed image, correct?
Maybe. Can be both.
It can be both, uncompressed and compressed?
Yes.
So let's say building OVMF.
Some of them will be, some of them won't be.
Okay. How do you know which is which?
You've got to read your FDF file and see what one is set up for what.
Okay. I've been trying to figure this out, as to is there a way at some point in time to that BDBA could test these images before they've been compressed?
Probably not.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
They would just need to be able to parse the compressed format, which shouldn't be that hard.
I wouldn't think so, but they don't.
Yeah, it's just nobody did it.
Okay, yeah, because this is one of the things I've been working on is, BDBA and how badly it does. I'm actually leaning towards BDBA is not the right tool for this.
Well, I mean, I see the need for fuzzing. It's just there's not many fuzzers designed for our environment.
No, not fuzzing. BDBA, Black Duck Binary Analysis.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, looking for checking all of your dependencies, basically.
Yeah, there's another BDBA that does fuzzing, I think.
So anyway, that's what I was talking about, was binary analysis.
Yeah, if you point it at the base tools folder, you or sorry, at the build folder that Base Tools generates, and then just suck up all the .efi files, you could throw those into it.
Oh, that might not be a bad idea. I will try that. But then another tool I've been testing because they've got it out in beta right now is SNCC for C and C++, which basically checks the source tree, not the image, and lets you know about all of your dependencies that are have CVEs against them.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
mean, we actually have one in the regular expressions library.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, it's good we're searching that.
Yeah, we have a critical CVE in that. So in the Onagorama or whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever it is we forked to make that.
Yes, exactly. So
I don't know, Sean. Do you guys do any fuzzing, like CVE, binary analysis, that kind of stuff?
We do have a lot of stuff that runs during our build that checks our dependencies. I don't think we have any at the moment enabled that do source based. And they don't, therefore they don't work because we don't do package management, right? We just have these things we pulled in. So I've seen it pull, it catches our build tools when they have some Python thing out of date or has a CVE, but I've never seen it catch anything in the actual firmware source code.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
the way we do it is there's this third-party thing that actually analyzes the binary that comes out for patterns that match, a known vulnerability.
I see. I mean, personally, we played with the binarly tools and run their public stuff that they've released out there on a lot of binaries as well. I think figuring out how to roll any of this stuff in would be great.
yes, I agree. More tools, the better.
Yep. More automation, the better.
Yes, I will agree with that 100%. Doing some of this by hand is a pain.
Yeah, doesn't scale well either. Yeah.
No, it does not.
All right. Anything else for anybody?
Not that I can think. I don't have anything else. I thank you for the ideas to try, which I will.
All right. Thank you guys. Have a good week.
Thanks, Sean.
Thank you.
Bye.